from different places, different paths, different spaces, bringing so many questions, bringing our pain. We come from different families. Each of us has a story. Stumbling into the light, I see people like you and me. In this room, we listen to the truth that sets us free. In this room, we open our hearts and we can clearly see how the path has brought us all right here. We're safe, we're strong, our friends are near. And there is nothing left to fear, 'cause we're home in this room. In this room, we value complete acceptance of who we are. In this room, we walk towards complete forgiveness. In this room, we learn. The learning never ends. And we can choose anytime we want to begin again. In this room, we listen to the truth that sets us free. In this room, we open our hearts and we can clearly see how the path has brought us all right here. We're safe, we're strong, our friends are near. And there is nothing left to fear, 'cause we're home in this room. In this room, there's gold dust in the air. In this room, possibilities everywhere. In this room, we stand when our hearts are torn. In this room, a new way of being together is being born. In this room, we listen to the truth that sets us free. In this room, we open our hearts and we can clearly see how the path has brought us all right here. We're safe, we're strong, our friends are near. And in this room. In this room. We all come from different places, different paths, different spaces, bringing so many questions, bringing our pain. We come from different families. Each of us has a story. Stumbling into the light, I see people like you and me. In this room, we listen to the truth that sets us free. In this room, we open our hearts and we can clearly see how the path has brought us all right here. We're safe, we're strong, our friends are near. And there is nothing left to fear, 'cause we're home in this room. In this room, we value complete acceptance of who we are. In this room, we walk towards complete forgiveness. In this room, we learn. The learning never ends. And we can choose anytime we want to begin again. In this room, we listen to the truth that sets us free. In this room, we open our hearts and we can clearly see how the path has brought us all right here. We're safe, we're strong, our friends are near. And there is nothing left to fear, 'cause we're home in this room. In this room, there's gold dust in the air. In this room, possibilities everywhere. In this room, we stand when our hearts are torn. In this room, from different places, different paths, different spaces, bringing so many questions, bringing our pain. We come from different families. Each of us has a story. Stumbling into the light, I see people like you and me. In this room, we listen to the truth that sets us free. In this room, we open our hearts and we can clearly see how the path has brought us all right here. We're safe, we're strong, our friends are near. And there is nothing left to fear, 'cause we're home in this room. In this room, we value complete acceptance of who we are. In this room, we walk towards complete forgiveness. In this room, we learn. The learning never ends. And we can choose anytime we want to begin again. In this room, we listen to the truth that sets us free. In this room, we open our hearts and we can clearly see how the path has brought us all right here. We're safe, we're strong, our friends are near. And there is nothing left to fear, 'cause we're home in this room. In this room, there's gold dust in the air. In this room, possibilities everywhere. In this room, we stand when our hearts are torn. In this room, from different places, different paths, different spaces, bringing so many questions, bringing our pain. We come from different families. Each of us has a story. Stumbling into the light, I see people like you and me in this room. We listen to the truth that sets us free. In this room, we open our hearts and we can clearly see how the path has brought us all right here. We're safe, we're strong, our friends are near. And there is nothing.
Good morning. I'm Reverend Rafe Ellis, Senior Minister and Spiritual Leader of this amazing community. And this morning I am honored to be serving as your host and your house musician, leading our community songs. We have a guest minister this morning. Our assistant minister, Reverend Frank Mastoris, will be bringing the talk. Before I get started, I do have an announcement. Some of you that have been here long term will know this individual. Kathy Lieberman passed away yesterday. Her son was here this morning. There will be a burial on Thursday here in Columbia. I'll get the information from him hopefully later today or tomorrow. And then there will be a celebration of life on Easter, and I will have more information on that as that gets planned. So just know that more is coming. She is still Kathy Lieberman. She's just no longer in physical form. So we're going to get started with our first community song, There Is Only One of Us. In your eyes, it's me I see. There is only one of us. You are my reflection. There is only one. And I invite you to allow this chant to take you to that inward place of really experiencing a sense of oneness. To challenge any human discomfort you have with that by looking at one another as you sing it, which can be excruciatingly uncomfortable if we're telling the truth. I remember doing this in workshops, and I'm like, oh, they're going to make us walk around and sing to each other. But it does something. It really does. So I invite you to at least try it. All right, here we go. There is only one of us. There is only one of us. In your eyes, it's me I see. There is only one of us. You are my reflection. There is only one. We'll just keep repeating that. There is only one of us. In your eyes
it's me I see.
Good morning, online people.
There is only one of us.
You are my reflection.
There is only one. There is only one of us. In your eyes it's me I see. There is only one of us. You are my reflection. There is only one. There is only one of us. In your eyes it's me I see. There is only one of us. You are my reflection. There is only one. There is only one of us. In your eyes it's me I see. There is only one of us. You are my reflection. There is only one. You are my reflection. There is only
Thank you, Melissa Felipe, for writing that song. All right. I am still Reverend Rafe Ellis. I am still your host this morning. I am still honored and privileged to be your senior minister. It is a joy to serve this community. So welcome to our Sunday celebration. Whether you're here joining us in person or whether you're joining us virtually, we would greatly appreciate if you would help us get this service into the viewing and listening of more people by sharing it on whatever social media platforms you use whenever it's convenient for you, if you so choose. And if you don't, then just don't share it. It's okay. It's a request, not a mandate. Why do I say that? Because some people hear it as a mandate, and it's really not. It's a choice. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. Here's what we want you to know, that whoever you are, whatever spiritual path you're on, wherever you're at on that spiritual path, you are welcome and celebrated here. We want to learn with you. If this is your first time, or it's your 10th time, but you've never filled one of these out, please do so that we have your information. It just makes it easier for us to communicate with you. So let's affirm who we are and what we're about. And I invite you to read these with me. Our vision: contributing to a world that works for everyone. Our mission: we are a diverse community of belonging and growth, sharing the light and joy within ourselves while learning to see it in others. Our identity is that we are a welcoming, inclusive spiritual center where everyone can be seen and heard. We lovingly practice the principles of science of mind in the world. So we've got lots of ways to connect. You can find all the information on our website at columbiacsl.com. If you're looking for specific things, go to columbiacsl.com/events. If you need additional information or you have questions, you can email me at info@columbiacsl.com. You are also welcome to call or text the office cell phone at 410-750-8559. Our spiritual support ministry, 365 Days of Richer Living, live streams daily at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. Just for today, live streams Tuesday through Saturday at 10 a.m. Sleepy Time Meditation, live streams nightly at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Our outreach ministry, this month, any month we have 5 Sundays, we do some sort of outreach collection. And so this month we are doing it with an organization called Columbia Community Care, which started small in 2020 at the onset of COVID. Now they're feeding 300 to 400 families a week. That's a significant growth from a humble beginning. And so we're inviting you to bring food items, non-perishable food items, to donate to them. There is a list on the table in the back. You can also find information on their website under the Support CCC tab. Thank you for your giving to families that are hungry. Okay, this week, our Board of Trustees, our regular monthly meeting of the Board of Trustees is happening Tuesday night at 7 p.m. They are open meetings. You are welcome to attend as guests to listen. It is not a participatory thing for non-board members. It is to listen, to see. And I really encourage you to, show up and see how the business part of the center is conducted. It may give you insight. It may raise questions that you can then address with the board members. If you do have something that you want to be on the agenda, reach out to Zeta Johnson-Betts, who is our board president, and she will coordinate with you how to do that and when. We've changed normally our town hall meeting would be the week after, but since that's Thanksgiving week, our town hall meeting will be Wednesday, November 19th at 7 p.m. That is open to everybody, and it is a highly participatory gathering. This is where you get to be seen and heard, where you get to share feedback and ideas, and we collaborate and grow this center. Speaking of growing the center, if you are interested in membership, if you're interested in just learning about membership, you don't have to join to learn about what membership is and what it means. Rather than doing it in a class format, there's a packet in the back. You can also access the Discovering Membership packet online. And then we gather, if you're here local, right? We'll gather on the 23rd over at Roma's for a conversation. And I really encourage people that are members to join that conversation, because it's very different to create relationships listening to people that are members, that have been longtime members, rather than just talking about what membership means. You get to actually commune with members and glean that experience. If you are non-local, you are still welcome to join this community. I will set up a Zoom call with you, or we can do it by phone. We are open to just making it happen, because we're working on a world that works for everybody, so we got to have lots of different ways to do things. Our annual fundraiser, our Shared Abundance 50/50 raffle was launched at the beginning of the month, and as yet has had 0 participation. It only goes through the first Sunday in December. It's a short-term fundraiser. It's your opportunity to share in the abundance. Right? You purchase tickets, and at the end, the computer automated does a drawing of whoever is in there. The computer draws the winner, and the winner gets half of the net from that. That is available in the newsletter. So we need to raise funds. We're still a business. We pay rent to sit right where we're sitting this morning. There are expenses. And so we do fundraisers to meet the expenses that happen beyond what our normal giving is. Okay. That's it for the announcements. We're going to do our next community song, I Am Remembering. And I invite you to really take this in prayerfully, to make this your prayer, that I am remembering who I am. Because our name, our job titles, our role in families misleads us about who we are. We're not those things. Those are things we do. Those are ways we show up. But who are we as an infinite divine expression? Let this take you there. It's another Melissa Felipe chant. Beautiful. Thank you. All right, Mr. Frank Mastoris, Reverend Assistant Minister. Yeah.
Oh, boy. The divine minister is going to be running today instead of me. Our spiritual value today that we are talking about is love. And as soon as it pops up. Okay, thank you, sir. Does anyone have any experience of where they felt love today, or they've been able to give love this week that has allowed them to grow and to be the very essence of who they really are? Okay, come on. This group? Come on now, go on.
Hi, everyone. I really wasn't sure what I was going to say, but Kathy Lieberman was a dear friend of ours. We lost touch with her a couple years ago, but up until then, we would take care of her garden for her, and we felt so loved by her and other people that we would see over at her home. And that was true love, what we shared with her, and I'm grateful for that.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to share, some of you might know that we have two granddaughters, 7 and 10 years old, who play ice hockey. And we get to the games as often as we can. We went into Pennsylvania last night to go to one, and it was just so lovely after the game when our 10-year-old came up and just hugged us and said how grateful she was that we were there to see her play. And the younger one does the same thing. So it's such unbelievable love, and we feel like we're making a little bit of a difference in their lives. So, yeah, nothing better than that.
My bicycle buddy came down from California, from Pennsylvania Friday. He had a meeting, and he comes and hangs out with me Friday afternoon before his meeting. And he had something he wanted to discuss that was on his mind, and we sat on my couch, and basically I got a chance to use some of my training and skills to guide him through coming to a satisfactory resolution of his challenge. And I realized afterwards I had done this with a sense of love, appreciation, and joy to be able to do this. And then we went out in my backyard and cleaned up the backyard so it looks a lot better with that same feeling of love and appreciation and joy and celebration. And in meditation that night, I got how incredibly loving this experience was, and I am so grateful.
Dana.
Good morning, everyone. Yesterday and Friday, I had the opportunity to actually commune with two people. On Friday, I just met up with a friend for happy hour, and just our conversation was so joyous. And then she was like, I'm going to speak these words of affirmation into you because, you know, you fed me, and, you know, that's how you get me. And and just spoke just words of affirmation into me. And then yesterday, the same thing happened. We, at Impact Hub, was hosting an organization that's meeting to create a mutualist economy in Baltimore. And one of the hosts came down from New York, and we'd met online. You know, we were in Zoom meetings about this gathering we had yesterday. And afterwards, she just spoke so many words of affirmation into me regarding music and the music industry and my career and being a musician and a woman. It was just really, really moving. And so, you know, out of the blue, these two people just spoke these words of love and affirmation to me.
Anyone else?
So I have two. Actually, one that's actually two, but then another one. So this is Transgender Awareness Week. And what came through me at the beginning of the week really surprised me. It was a love letter to myself. And if you're friends with me on Facebook, you've probably already seen it. But what came was, dear female me, I never really hated you, not really. I just didn't recognize you. And I was able to affirm the foundation and able to own the pain of the journey that both sides of me have experienced. And out of that came a tremendous giving of love from people I don't even know on Facebook. And it really surprised me. It surprised me that the letter came to myself, and it surprised me about the feedback. And so far, there haven't been one troll making weird comments, which is really surprising. Right? And then the other was yesterday. Went to Virginia to be with a friend that I've been in this young man's life since he was 17. And he just lost his husband of 37 years. And so was able to go be with him while he did the memorial service for his husband. And it was just really tender and precious. Because Patrick is not one to let a lot of people love him, and I got to witness him let himself be loved in his sorrow. So.
Yeah, I have one. I got a surprise text inviting me to a happy hour and dinner, with a bunch of friends, and some of whom you know. And it was just so glorious to be remembered and invited out, and reconnecting and connecting again. So that's beautiful, and that's loving and self-love. So I'm very grateful.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Thank you. Our next thing is to do the focus wheel. The focus wheel is where we turn over the sermon to you, and whatever comes through, and we're going to be grateful for it, and I'll deal with the question during the sermon. I'm going to pull this out slightly. Thank you. Oh, thanks, Reverend Rafe. The question is, how do you know when you have reached Jedi status? Okay. Thank you. That'll be dealt with during our sermon. And next thing on our list is honoring the faith traditions. Ms. Zita, may I ask you to come up?
Our founder, Reverend Dr. Ernest Holmes, was a dedicated study and a great synthesizer, identifying the common connecting threads within the various religions, philosophies, and ancient wisdom teachings of the world. Science of Mind is the synthesis of Ernest Holmes' lifetime of study. Let us breathe together as we light a candle honoring some of these faith traditions. As we light the first candle, we honor Christianity as a path of love and forgiveness. As we light the second candle, we honor Buddhism as a path of compassion and Four Noble Truths. As we light the third candle, we honor Judaism as a path of ethical living through sacred law. As we light the fourth candle, we honor Baha'i as a path of unity and peace. As we light the fifth candle, we honor Islam as a path of surrendering to the will of God as the highest calling. As we light the sixth candle, we honor Confucianism as a path of deliberate tradition. As we light the seventh candle, we honor Taoism as a path of harmony and balance. As we light the eighth candle, we honor all indigenous peoples' traditions as paths that recognize and honor spirit in all of creation. As we light the ninth candle, we honor Shintoism as a path of optimism and the inherent goodness of humanity. As we light the 10th candle, we honor Hinduism as a path of knowledge, action, and devotion. As we light the 11th candle, we honor Akan as a path that honors the divine, ancestors, and nature. As we light the 12th candle, we honor all New Thought philosophies as a path of adherence to universal spiritual principles of love and law. As we light this final candle, we honor the multiplicity and diversity within the wholeness of creation as sacred. Namaste. This morning's sacred reading is an excerpt from the essay Spiritual Laws by Ralph Waldo Emerson. The intellectual life may be kept clean and healthful if man will live the life of nature and not import into his mind difficulties which are none of his. No man need be perplexed in his speculations. Let him do and say what strictly belongs to him, and though very ignorant of books, his nature shall not yield him any intellectual obstructions and doubts. Our young people are diseased with the theological problems of original sin, origin of evil, predestination, and the like. These never presented a practical difficulty to any man, never darkened across any man's road, who did not go out of his way to seek them. These are the soul's mumps and measles and whooping coughs, and those who have not caught them cannot describe their health or prescribe the cure. A simple mind will not know these enemies. It is quite another thing that he should be able to give account of his faith and expound to another the theory of his self-union and freedom. This requires rare gifts, yet without this self-knowledge, there may be a sylvan strength and integrity in that which he is. A few strong instincts and a few plain rules will suffice us. My will never gave the images in my mind the rank they now take. The regular course of studies, the years of academical and professional education have not yielded me better facts than some idle books under the bench at the Latin school. What we do not call education is more precious than that which we call so. We form no guess at the time of receiving a thought and its comparative value. And education often wastes its effort in attempts to thwart and balk this natural magnetism which is sure to select what belongs to it. And so it is.
there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release from a world full of chaos and noise. So I wait for these precious moments when I hear all that could never be said, and right here in this holy silence I find God, I find myself. So I wait for these precious moments when I hear all that could never be said, and right here in this holy silence I find God, I find God, I find
There is only one of us. one infinite consciousness, unlimited, infinite possibility, unformed and formed, unseen and seen, creating out of itself to experience itself. And so in this truth, I know that by whatever name it is called, there is only one. That it is fully present in, through, and as this room, this microphone, this speaker. Every individual in this room and each chair that is being sat in is this infinite expressing itself in multiplicity. And so I know that this is a time of the infinite experiencing the infinite, of life unfolding itself, expanding its experience of itself. In the music, in the message, in the socialization, in this very room, there is quite enough love. And so I speak my word, claiming and affirming that the music that is channeled through Clint is an expression of the infinite as Clint. That the message that comes through Reverend Frank is the infinite expressing as Reverend Frank. That each message that is heard through the ears of the infinite as each listener. That this service is life itself unfolding itself perfectly, completely, without hesitation. And I am grateful. I am grateful for the activity of law that has already made it so instantly when it was intended. And so we simply release all of our prejudgments and anchor ourselves in the reality of one to experience consciousness. And so it is.
I wrote this blues song while I was wrestling with something, and I was having to apply what my understanding is of the highest principle of science of mind on myself. Reverend Rafe, correct me if I'm wrong about the way that they call it, but I think it's something like owning your shtick. Something. So this song about that kind of thing. The moment is gone now, I can't go back. I'm stuck here in the present. That's a natural fact. I could wish I could change things that I did back then. Ain't no cheating this lesson. It's time to hold that road. It's gonna be my harvest. I know this is gonna pique my awareness. I know now I'm gonna be present. And I'm gonna tell you why. Last time when I was lazy, last time when I didn't do the work, When I woke up from my own deception, y'all, that sting really hurt. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. Ain't no need to worry. Ain't no cause to doubt it. It's gonna reflect back on you any way you do. In the end, it's always the right choice. Even the ones that took you the wrong way. Long as your eyes can stand seeing it, and your heart is true. Thank you.
I'm on. Yay. For those of you who do not know, or may be newer here, we've been doing First Things First this year. And what that is Reverend Rafe has adapted the 12 steps and the 12 traditions of Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, to religious science. What you don't know is that Bill W., you may not know, is Bill W. and Ernest Holmes were contemporaries, and they actually talked and knew each other and worked together as Ernest was building up Science of Mind, and Bill W. was building the 12-step program. So there's a lot of commonalities with us, and sometimes divergences in the way that we live and the way we do things. Tradition 11, which I'm to speak about today, is about our public relations policy is based on attraction rather than promotion. We need always to maintain personal anonymity at the level of press, radio, and films. There are, in the 12 steps, 6 traditions that have an outside reach to that focus outside of the group itself, and this is just one of them. Tradition 11, and I'm just going to go over them just so people have a clue what they were, because we've done them throughout the year. I had just mentioned our public relations policy. Tradition 3, which is the only requirement for membership in any group, is a desire to A, stop drinking, stop using, stop whatever. Tradition 5 is each group has one primary purpose: to carry the message to the person who is suffering. Tradition 6 states that an AA group ought never endorse, finance, or lend the AA name to any related facility or outside enterprise, lest problems of money, property, and prestige divert us from our primary purpose. For us, our primary purpose is always loving and spiritual growth. Tradition 7 states every group ought to be fully self-sufficient supporting declining outside contributions. We've talked about this before. This is about not being beholden to anybody. I personally don't want a stamp on my back that says I belong to Pennzoil, like they stamp race cars with who's supporting them financially. No, that's not going to work for me. And lastly, Tradition 10 states that we have no opinion on outside issues lest the church be drawn into controversy. That one sometimes is a little iffy because we do live in the world. We have times when we have to stand up for the truth, regardless of what the truth is. What is public relations? First off, if it's the professional management of a favorable public image for a company, organization, or a person. We as a church do not have a public, well, we might have a public relations department on the overall church, but individually, we do not have a public relations department. We are anonymous. Each and every single one of us is anonymous. You can, sure, if you so choose, but you don't have to, because the reality is we are all part and parcel of this one thing called God. Personal anonymity protects us and the community from an ego-driven publicity that can turn people away. Meaning, some people may not like the professional image. We as a community, we as individuals do not promote the community. The community itself is the promotion. So let's just take a moment and look at what promote means versus attract. Promotion, as I understand it, is we go out there, we step out and say, I'm representing this community, this church, this is what we believe, and we try to teach the product. Usually it's a physical product or some service that we offer. Spiritual teaching is a little bit different. We are not the Girl Scouts. We don't stand out there and promote our cookies. You know, let's face it. We've all been there walking towards the grocery store and we see the Girl Scouts out there. They come at you, they look at you, they smile, put out those big grins. They see me coming across the parking lot and going, would you like a cookie? Of course, my defenses always drop. And I have a family member who sells Girl Scout cookies, so trust me, I have to be very mindful of that. So they go out and they promote their products so they have fundraising for their group. That's not us. We don't have a physical product that we could go out and promote. Number two, we're not one of those churches that generally goes out and does the promotion. For example, I grew up in Ohio, and we had a church that moved in behind us and built a center or a hall. And every dang Saturday morning at 7 a.m., they knocked on our door. And they knocked, and they knocked, and they knocked. Even though we said we're not interested, they pushed us so far away from even considering the possibility because the promotion was so intense for their community that we would forget. Even though we said, you know, we were Catholic at the time, we're not interested, they came every Saturday anyway, until one point when one guy stuck his foot in the door, and that it became a physical altercation, but I'm not going there. And then we have those churches that sometimes have celebrities that endorse them. For example, Scientology and Tom Cruise. He will go out and promote his religion. And, you know, if you like Tom Cruise, great. If you don't like Tom Cruise, it presents a different image for our community. I'm not attracted to that. So how do we live in the world? Our way of living is a way of attraction. When we go out in the world, we are authentic, loving, kind human beings. We are the very expression of this one life called God. And that's what people resonate to. They resonate on the spiritual level and on the human level and on the emotional to God within us, how we act, how we treat, how we talk, how we behave. Attraction is not based on differences. It's commonalities. We attract the people that we have something in common with. And for most of us, if we really think about it, we have a whole heck of a lot in common with everybody. There's not one of us who doesn't get up, doesn't have to live their life however they want to do it, doesn't have friends, doesn't want to be loved, doesn't want to be cared for. Everybody wants the same basic things. And when we meet people where they are in love, we attract them. The greatest gift that we have for attraction is you. You are the attractors. Your love is the attractors. Your joy is the attractors. Your peace is the attractors. The very gift of each and every one of you is what attracts people to us. And the more you're out in the world, the more you're being the very presence of God that you are. That's the perfection. That's the divinity. That's the attraction. Now, there is some things you have to be aware about. You have to, being authentic. People can read right through crap right off the top. So if you're not authentic, nobody's going to believe you. Being honest, being authentic, being loving, being kind, and admitting sometimes that we have moments when we're not. We're meeting people, as the science of mind tells us, we live on the human level, having spiritual experiences, and we are spiritual beings having human experiences. And most people aren't aware of their divine connection. What they are aware is of their humanity. And when we meet people at the human level, that's when we attract them. When we show them love, that's when we attract them. When we show them our vulnerability, which is sometimes hard, because it makes us can make us very uncomfortable. That can be hard. But to connect to anybody, any relationship, anybody, it's the human level that we connect with people. We are on the spiritual level connected, and we know that cognitively. But emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally, we connect to each other on the human level. And without that ultimate human connection, we're talking to the wind. We're talking above people's heads. I was thinking about this sermon and thinking, well, in our reading, Reverend, it talked about the whole idea of sin, original sin. That's a concept I'd like to ask you to please consider getting rid of. I can't tell you what to do, but you were not born in sin, you were born in love. Regardless of the circumstances, you were born as love, not in love, but as love. The divine perfection, there is nothing wrong with you, not a dang thing. You are all beautiful, wonderful, fabulous expressions of the divine, just the way you are. So if you have any guilt or shame, for me, I grew up feeling guilty because I was a gay man. Told how God was never going to love me. I was never going to be good enough. I was always going to be less than. That was a lie I was told. It wasn't the truth. I was told I couldn't be loved. I was never going to be able to have love. That's a lie. Reverend Rafe had shared about his experience today, about his thing with this transgender awareness. And he was able to say, I love every part of me. Being authentic in our world requires a certain level of humility. It requires us to be able to go out and say, yeah, I made a mistake. I didn't fit our cultural whatever, if you make a mistake and violate some cultural rule. I've done it. I am no better than any other human being in this room. I may have a little more training. I may have a title. And guess what? That means nothing in the basic hill of beans, okay? It just means I'm another person on the path, walking the path with each and every one of you now, as the complete, loving, divine expressions that you already are. Each and every single one of you is perfect. And if you don't like something about yourself, like me, I don't like my weight, I keep offering a liposuction transplant, but no one's taking advantage of it. So please, if you need 20 pounds, put up your hands and we'll have a conversation later. Please, I'd love to give you an extra 20 pounds. The question that came up was, how do you know that you have reached Jedi status? You already are, Blanche. You already are Jedi status. You just don't know it. And you're just, because the cultural training, this is where less than, you just don't believe it. But you already are. You already are Jedi status. Already perfect, already whole, already complete, just the way you are. Please consider stopping beating yourself up. Please let go of the idea of original sin. Please accept yourself as perfect, whole, and complete, just the way you are. Not here, here. Take it from your head to your heart. Be the authentic, loving self that you are. And sometimes we're cranky. And that's okay. Sometimes we get angry. That's okay. Sometimes we're tired. That's okay. But you already are the Jedi. And you have the sword of mind. You have the lightsaber of your thoughts to change your thinking, to change your life. Take out the lightsaber of your words and your deeds and your mind, and anything that comes up that says, I am less than, cut it apart. And let it go. Because it is not the truth of what you are. The only thing that we are fighting in life is our own, as they would say in the 12-step programs, our own stinking thinking. Each and every one of you are perfect just the way you are. And if you need to know you're perfect, come to me. I'll give you a hug to let you know you're perfect. You're all perfect just the way you are. Loving, kind, gentle, wonderful, perfect, and perfected. So, O Jedi Masters, each and every one of you, beloved gods and goddesses, kings and queens of this fabulous universe called life, know your truth. Love your truth. Love yourself. Really, love you. Just the way you are. As perfect or imperfect, whatever you think you are, that's okay. If you think you're imperfect, that's okay too. Love every part of you. Everything. And so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Frank. It's a joy to sit and listen for a change. Thank you. So this is our time of conscious giving. And so I invite you just to stay in this spiritual place. I'm going to invite Clint to come and get ready. And remind folks of the ways that you can actually give. You can text the word GIVE to 410-498-6175. You can mail a physical check to 659 Cog Court, Millersville, Maryland, 21108. You can access our online giving portal through our website at columbiacsl.com/donate, or you can use the QR code on the screen. And yes, if you are watching this live stream on your phone, you cannot use the QR code while you're watching on your phone because you need your phone to take a picture of the QR code. We haven't developed that technology yet, but in the mind of creation, I'm sure someone is working on it. If you have any challenges with any of those giving methods, please let me know, and I will do my best to walk you through it. If you give cash, you're certainly welcome to do that. Yes, we still take cash. And if you want that to be connected to your giving record, please use one of the envelopes so that we know where it came from, so that we can take care of that on the business end. Before we pass the basket, I also want to make folks aware of our annual pledge drive, which is now happening, and it actually happens continuously, okay? Doing it ahead of time lets the board have information about how to establish a budget for 2026. The spiritual benefit to each of us individually by setting a pledge is that we're setting a spiritual intention, and that activates this law of attraction. And so life gives to itself, and when we open the portal by giving, we open the portal to receive. It's the spiritual law of reciprocity, which is just a different way of saying the law of attraction. And so I encourage you to explore that. And if you've got some barriers in the way, reach out to myself, to Reverend Frank, to one of the practitioners, so that we can give you some support in clearing away whatever is in the way of your giving consciousness. Because I assure you, it's way more about the consciousness of giving than the amount that you give. If there's fear that comes up every time you think about giving, let's support each other in getting rid of that lie. Because there is no fear in the infinite. That's a human lie that we made up. We don't have to be bound by that. Okay, so if I could get a couple of, we're going to do our affirmation, and then Frank and Dale are going to pass the basket. So let's read our affirmation together. Here we go. I affirm that the abundance of creation is my abundance. I give freely as creation gives to me. I give through this for spiritual living to ensure its continued availability to all spiritual seekers. And so it is.
The song by the Melodians is called, there you go, The Rivers of Babylon. Been singing it since I was a boy. By the rivers of Babylon, where we lay down, and there we were, as we remember Zion. By the rivers of Babylon, you know, yeah, where we sat down, and there we were, as we remember Zion. And the wicked, they carried us away captivity. They required from us a song. How can we sing King Alpha's song in a strange land? And the wicked, they carried us away. Captivity, they required from us a song. How can we sing King Alpha's song in a strange land? We'll sing a song of freedom. We'll sing a song, yeah, yeah. Sing a song of freedom. So let the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable in thy sight. Over hey, you guys sing along. By the rivers of Babylon, where we lay down, where we lay down, and there we wept, and there we wept, as we remembered Zion. By the rivers of Babylon, where we lay down, and there we wept, as we remembered Zion. Sing a song of freedom. We'll sing a song of freedom. We'll sing a song, yeah, 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 yeah. Sing a song of freedom. So let the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable in thy sight. Over So let the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable in thy sight. Over I am, right? So let the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable in thy sight. Over la 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 la. That word's easy. La 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 la. La 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 la. Sing a song of freedom. Thank you.
So I speak a word of gratitude, a word of blessing to the giver and the gift, knowing that we give through this center to do Spirit's work in the world. And so it is. Okay. Let me move my little red tab so I know where I'm at. All right, so some thank yous. And sometimes confusion happens, so you get to thank more people than you thought you were going to thank. So thank you, Rita Miller, for being our hospitality team member this morning. Thank you, Ebony English, for being on the schedule, and thank you, Tom and Nancy, for showing up and doing it. Thank you, Zeta Johnson-Betts, for being on the camera for our live stream and for being our reader this morning. Thank you, Jesse Dabbs, for being our live stream wizard behind the curtain. Thank you, Deborah Ellis, for being on our online engagement person. Thank you, Clint Hardnett, for your musical gifts, sir. Thank you, Dale and Frank, for being our ushers this morning. And thank you, Reverend Frank Mastoris, for bringing our message this morning. Thank you. And thank you, Mary Ann, who will be available for prayer immediately after service. So, I love that I have notes that get to change because folks get engaged when you just don't know it's happening. All right. So, speaking of prayer after service, there's several ways that you can get prayer. You can give a prayer request in the basket over there. Those go directly to the ecclesiastical team, which is myself, Reverend Frank, Reverend Jenna, and all of the licensed practitioners. You can also submit a prayer request through email at prayer@columbiacsl.com. That automatically goes to all of those same people. You can get prayer immediately after service. And so what I'm going to ask you to do is, if you want prayer immediately after service, that you go immediately to the lobby area so that that can be taken care of right from the gate. Because once we get to socializing, we kind of forget that we wanted prayer, and then it doesn't happen. So go immediately afterwards. If we could close those doors as soon as that happens, so that we keep the noise of the socialization in here and give the folks out there a little bit of privacy. It doesn't mean if you're ready to go that you can't open the door and leave. You can. We're not Hotel California where you can check out but you can never leave. We just ask that you do so respectfully and quietly. Okay. If you want additional support, we have licensed practitioners. They go through a lot of training. They go through 2 years of, first they do all the prerequisites to even qualify to do the 2 years of practitioner training, and then they sit for a licensing panel, and then they do continuing education and relicense every 2 years to help you remember the truth of who you are. So if you're struggling with that, reach out to one of them. They do what are called practitioner sessions. They set their own rate. Prayer is always free. Practitioner sessions are not, because you're paying for their time and their education and their skill just like you would any other professional. So reach out to them. They will be happy. If you just want prayer, reach out to them for that. They will pray with you, because that's what they signed up for. Okay. Our affirmation for today. I invite you to just listen and take it in, then we'll read it together. I embody the energy I choose to experience. Let's say that together. I embody the energy I choose to experience. Couple of reminders. Our big reveal. We're in the home stretch of our new name. I will share with you that so far only 8 people have weighed in. So if you're interested in participating in the final phase of that, there are little half sheets on the back table there where you can do it and just get that to me after service is one way to do it. You can also do it online through the form. This round, you're just selecting one name. And we'll see what Spirit has in mind. If there is a clear choice, that will be announced the last Sunday of this month, and we'll go from there. Because once we pick a new name, then there's all kinds of legal things we got to do to make that actually happen. So it is a process. If you have feedback about what's happening at the center, this is the one place where you can give your feedback anonymously if you're not comfortable saying it. You can fill out this form online. There are forms in the back. You can email your input. We just want to know what's working, what's not working, what you want more of, what you want none of, what's not happening that you want to happen. Because we can't read each other's mind. So this is your community. Speak up. Let us know. QR codes. For those of you that really love QR codes, they're on the back table there. The book bucket. We have books. They're for donation. Please take a look. There are some amazing books over there There truly are. They are yours for the taking. If you have a donation to leave, please do so. If you don't and you want the book, please take them. If you have one of those little libraries near your home, take some of those books, put them in those little libraries. Our objective is to get that information out into the world. Now, we are limited on our storage capacity, so we're asking folks to hold off on bringing any more books until we liquidate the stock that we have. Yes, Laura? So we have new books that came in. So if you already looked at them, take a look again. There might be some, there's some Joel Goldsmith stuff over there. There's just really rich stuff. There's old Ernest Holmes books over there, collector's books over there, if that appeals to you. But you got to take a look to see what's there. And again, we have the newsletter. If you're not getting the newsletter and you want it, it's a simple email me, put me on the newsletter, please. Thank you. You can also register for the newsletter on our website. Just scroll down to the bottom. It says sign up for the newsletter. Do that, and we'll get it to you. And our 50/50 raffle. This goes through the first Sunday in December. And so I encourage you to take a risk. See what happens. We buy lotto tickets. This is our spiritual lotto ticket. It's really what it amounts to, okay? There are some expenses to running the 50/50 raffle. Those are backed out. And then the net that is left is split, literally 50/50 between the center and whoever's name the computer draws. So, next week, Jamie Hudson Craig and the band, let me turn around here and get the name right. They have named the band Anam Cara, which apparently is Celtic for soul friends. And so they will be our musicians next week. We will complete our look at the law of attraction. And so now we're going to do our closing song. And I invite you to channel your inner diva at the beginning of this song, where it is a cappella. You'll hear it. Just let yourself out to play with this song. Here we go.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine.
Here we go. Here we go. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, this is the law of attraction. I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Going down the road, I'm gonna let it shine. gonna let it shine. Going down the road, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Tell your neighbor how you're gonna shine this week. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Set your intention for the week. This little light of mine, what are you gonna do? I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Make a commitment, I'm gonna let it shine. 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 Let it shine. 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 Have a great week.
Living Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, I am free. So many gifts upon my table, loving kindnesses to me. Living Spirit, I am grateful, loving Spirit, for the way, for this rich, abundant living every single day. And I give thanks for the knowing. I give Living Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, I am free. So many gifts upon my table. Loving kindness says to me, living Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, for the way, for this rich, abundant living every single day. And I give thanks for the knowing. I give thanks for the way your love is overflowing every time I pray.